Hey there, my name is Pravus, welcome back to more Surviving Mars in New Warsaw. The city is coming along pretty nicely, I think. Our population has jumped up to 55 and should only be going up from here, so I feel pretty good about that. We've got our scrubbers reducing our maintenance across the board, and we finally have a little bit of metal production. Not an absolute ton, mind you, there's still a long way to go, but my hope is that this is going to eventually be the saving grace we're looking for and keep our metals up and running for a while. More geologists would most certainly help with that. But for now, 17.2 per day is okay. It says that we are still consuming a ton of metals for maintenance, which really does surprise me. We'll keep an eye on this because I think this should be going down a lot. Unless there are a lot of other structures in the domes consuming a bunch, but I can't think of any. You've just got things consuming concrete and electronics and occasionally machine parts or polymers, not metals. So where that's coming from, I don't know. It just may need to recalculate. In the meantime, we also have 2 hawking institutes up and running that are now doing pretty well in terms of staffing. Might be able to get a few more in here. We could go for an amplification. I did research this. Cost some polymers, a lot of extra power, but 50% more science production is obviously going to be very well worth it. So I'm quite happy to see that. Yeah, just like that, our science has gone up from like 1,500 up to 2,600. That's great, and I don't even think we have any more outsourcing going on right now. We don't, so that's just our own inert ability to do research. Excellent. The higher that is, the better things are going to be for us. For obvious reasons. We're going to learn how to get that moisture farming, so at least I know I'm good on this front. We can just build our own going forward. Micromanufacturing, I'm going to get the electronics factory mostly so I have the option, because at some point it is more efficient to have engineers making electronics than doing the automated systems. At least now that we have engineers, it can be. Resilient architecture is good for less maintenance for obvious reasons. Less workers needed at farms, meteor defense. Yeah, all of that's going to be good. And we are seeing that some of the metals are slowly building up. Very good. Okay, just need more geologists, and we'll be even better. There are some upgrades we'll be able to research at some point, usually for some metal extractors and stuff, but I don't think we've found any of those yet. There are some breakthroughs which are amazing, too. Whoa, game, why are you freezing up on me? There we go. It is kind of satisfying watching the train going back and forth again and again. The thing that's weird about it is I don't think it's doing anything. I don't think it's picking up anything and bringing it over. So it's just wasting a lot of time and power. But whatever, it's fine. It makes them happy. What we really should be asking ourselves is, what do we want to do now? Sector scan. And now that we're just starting to get on top of all these other resources, I don't really have a specific agenda. I mean, yeah, we could try to build out some more domes and stuff, and that always feels really satisfying to zoom out on the map like this and see you're sprawling all over Mars, but I don't have any need for more domes. We've still got some excess space right now. So, nothing to do there. I'm not having any issues as far as children and residences and stuff there, I don't think. We still can have up to about 15 kids before I have to worry about our schools getting too full, and at that point, honestly, the growth rate might be a little bit too high, so we're not going to do that. Food is looking phenomenal. We're okay on things like concrete. Long term, this is not going to last very much longer, so we'll have to think about that, but okay. Polymers, machine parts, electronics are starting to have some trouble, which surprises me because, again, the consumption and maintenance does not match up with the production rate. I would expect this to be doing better than it is. So we'll keep an eye on that. Metals is going up. Yeah, no, aside from just sitting back and letting science do its thing until we are ready to explode with over 100 population and start expanding some more domes, we're kind of in a little bit of a stalemate right now. I guess I could buy an RC Safari and bring this back. I mean, there's no immediate use for this. Unless you're going to have a lot of tourists coming to Mars, it's not great. The only reason I would even be tempted is because it's one thing I don't currently have. And for some of these special planetary things, you need to be getting, like, an RC Safari. I don't even know. I do have one, okay. So, like, I'd be spending all of my money just to get a useless Safari so I can get one research progress mission. Doesn't strike me as the absolute best deal, huh? Oh, there's actually 2 of them here, new technologies. All right, slightly better deal, but still not great. We'll just buy a few drones and bring them back. I'm still running a little overloaded. Martian Yellowstone, a huge underground deposit of salty water. Planetary scale temperature changes have created huge salty geysers. We can send digging and pumping equipment to speed up the process and turn them into a surface stream. It won't be easy or pretty, but it is a start. An expedition for a little bit of water, okay, or do nothing. All lazy people gain morale. When it happens anyway with climate change, it's like, who even cares? No, we're gonna do something. All right, so apparently there's a deposit somewhere. It's an expedition, right? So is that a planetary anomaly of sorts? Yes, unleash Martian Yellowstone. Is that what this giant patch is supposed to be? Because that'd be kind of cool. 2% water is not a lot of water, but it is some amount of water. I guess we can go ahead and just continue with the terraforming a bit more. Sure, you know, that is an option. Go ahead and get myself even more greenhouse gases spewing out into the atmosphere. Maybe research some of those carbonate processors, you know? Just go ahead and get started on some of the atmosphere. I mean, it does feel a little bit early to be worrying about terraforming. Again, I say that. It's been almost 160 souls here, but like, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it'd be worth. If I feel like I don't have anything else pressing and super urgent right now, why not just begin like the very long and Herculean project of changing the planet, you know? I guess one problem we are having is we are getting full up on residences a little bit here. Okay. It doesn't look like it because we have all these extra spaces here in the Bengal Fields, but don't be deceived, it's a lie. We can start getting ourselves some more homes. We could also start moving toward getting some big apartments, which are obviously far denser. That does come with its own set of challenges, and obviously reducing comfort rating isn't ideal in many ways, but I still think it's worth it. I know. At some point, if you have a lot of people in a dome with the Rebel Yell modifier, we're going to get renegades. Technically speaking, we shouldn't place many more homes here at all, but I'm going to take that risk regardless because I want to have plenty of room to grow, and we'll go ahead and start moving people out. We might even just send all the renegades to die in the Bengal Fields. I don't actually recommend that, by the way. That is a joke. Reason I don't recommend that is because the amount of renegades you're going to get per soul with the Rebel Yell have a lot to do with the number of residents in your dome. Even if you send your renegades out to die, it'll just spawn new renegades. Sometimes you're just going to have to accept that is the cost of doing business, and there's really nothing we can do to change it. A new breakthrough is always exciting, though. We have the Advanced Drone Drive. Drones doesn't sound that exciting. 40% faster drones. I mean, yeah. Not that impactful, if I'm honest. I usually don't try to rely on fast-moving drones, okay? As long as you have enough of them in a good network, you're usually fine. This is not like your other city builders where travel time makes a huge difference. Usually the buildings are relying on the production, all we're doing is supplying logistics. More drones also solves the problem. But hey, I'll admit, faster drones just means that, you know, we need less drones in a network to kind of fulfill all of the jobs, so it's okay. It's just, it's not game-changing. Maybe we can do a few expeditions, since I have some excess drones and a lot of excess fuel. Go forth, my friends! Find things on the planet! Also, don't die! Hot potato! We encountered a rival colony. There are no rival colonies! We were here first. They threatened to sabotage and destroy resources rather than let us claim even a tiny portion. Make amends. No, we'll just pay money. I don't know what this does. I don't remember, honestly, what they can do, but I'll spend money. Who knows? We gained 4,000 science. All right. I mean, it just finishes resilient architecture at the end of the day. Would I pay that much money to get 4,000 science? Yeah, probably, actually. I feel like that's not a terrible trade. Oh, and we've reached 25% temperature, which means that liquid surface water is now possible here on Mars. Cool. If I could learn how to dig out some giant lakes, you know, lake crafting over here, we could actually start placing these down and get that water quality up. That said, that takes a lot of water. So you either need a load of moisture vaporators or just go ahead and dedicate a bunch of underwater, deep water sites and stuff to just go ahead and work on that. Totally viable option, right? It is a thing we could do, but I don't know. I'd say at this stage of the game, we're not quite ready for that. That's a little bit too aggressive. Gosh, our science is going so much faster now, by the way. 3,200. We're chunking through things like this really quick. So we've got our out-of-dome maintenance. We've got intelligent RC rovers, so I can stop micromanaging them. We're about to get the farm automation. All right, what else would make a big difference? I guess we could boost up the medical centers a little bit. Reducing water consumption could always be a great thing to do. And then, are there any jobs I feel like I really need to boost their performance? Maybe emergency training only because we are going to have renegades. I could see that being kind of okay. Or we could just go for, like, you know, drone hubs and stuff. Or just start stealing the unique buildings and vehicles from random sponsors. That's also an option. Actually, maybe we'll go for the waste rock liquefaction, right? There's gonna come a point very soon where there are no nearby sources of concrete, and by very soon, I mean within the next sol or so. So maybe the ability to take all this extra rock and turn it into concrete would be a nice ability to have. Very expensive from a power perspective, but could be good nonetheless. Oh, good lord, somehow these seniors are still managing to avoid the Bengal fields. No, not allowed. Get back over here, dang it, you old people. Data dealer. We discovered a derelict rover and recovered its intact black box. Ah, this one. I feel like I remember this. I don't care about taking the rover back. I don't want to dismantle. I feel like this is either really good or really bad, and it's very random what you get. Let's try it. A breakthrough tech. Oh, wait a minute. What do we get? 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 Safe mode. If a colonist suffers a sanity breakdown, they fall asleep and wake up after 6 hours with 70 sanity. They are incapable of suicide. Well, I mean, that's not amazing, because I'm hoping to never get to this point in the first place. But it's a great fail-safe. Thank you, free random breakthrough tech. We have the meteor defense system up and running, which basically means we now have a way of protecting ourselves from the meteor storm. So the one thing that we could never be immune to, and was always a risk, we are now going to be immune to. Beautiful. We discovered the crashed remains of another expedition. They were ill-prepared. Gain 5,000 science and 5 drone prefabs, or everyone gains morale. 5,000 science is still a lot of science, okay? I'll take it. Okay, so we have our carbonate processor. You know something that I think is really messing with me, though? It's actually going to be power. I want to find out what the thermal reactors are going to be capable of, because this is unique to the mod, so I want to know. Once we get this, we should automatically detect any thermal sites. Actually, I'm sorry, not the thermal reactor. That's the wrong kind. This uses fuel. I'm thinking of geothermal. That's the one. Find the hot spots on the map. Barring that, the other alternative is to go for things like nuclear fusion, and then follow that up with the fusion autoregulation so it doesn't require as many workers in order to manifest this. I think that's going to be the way to go. There we go. Martian geothermal. Do we see any of these sites? I don't even know what they look like. There's one right there. All right. So not terribly far away. Hotspot 00 grade very high. Uh-huh. Okay, I don't know what this does, really, but it looks like, wow, it actually terraforms the planet a tiny bit, produces 75 power. Huh. Okay. Why does it have tubes, though? What does it need? Water. It consumes 2 water. Okay. It's gonna be, that makes sense, right? It's basically dumping water into the geothermal hotspot to create steam in order to turn some of those, you know, motors together. Yeah, basically just we're creating alternate current and energy. Fine. This might be a good option for us. 75 power is a lot of power, and it's only going to cost me a little bit of machine parts in order to run this. Is this in range? A matter of fact, it is. All right, good enough for me. Let's give it a go. What other kind of grades are there, though? So there's one down over here, also a very high grade. I'm just curious, like, what's a low grade look like? How much power do I get? That one's also very high. Are they all very high? I mean, that might be the case. I honestly don't know. There we go. Okay, so we're producing a fair bit of extra power. Like a lot of extra power. Holy crud. Right, I've got the nuclear fusion tech. I'm starting to question if I'm going to need that here. I mean, it's still good, right? You can produce up to 200 power using something like this, but it does take a lot of workers, which is why I find that fusion is pretty much only worth it if you also get the auto-regulation. Once you pick this up, it takes, what, 4 workers per shift or something? Instead of 24, it only takes like 12, 16, somewhere around there. It's not that bad, and you get 200 power. A couple of fusion power plants can carry you for most of the game. Well, with that excess power, let's go ahead and worry about getting some carbonate processors up and running. Of course, if you're going to place these, you'd ideally like them to be in range of the subsurface heaters, because otherwise they consume monumental amounts of power, and you have to turn them off after every cold wave. Also, great to keep it in range of a triple electric scrubber, but they're kind of huge, so that's hard to pull off. Still, what about something like right over here? 200 concrete to build is a little on the expensive side for a guy who's not producing any more concrete. But like I said before, atmosphere takes a very long time to build up. And the more of these we have, the less we have to worry about the dust storms and the meteor storms, which can be quite nice. There is going to come a point where we get to 25% atmosphere and temperature and we start having toxic rain, at least until both improve a fair bit. That can be a little bit annoying, admittedly. But it's just a little bit of a growing pain for the planet, that's all it is. Once you get past that, though, no problems. Hey, another anomaly. Hello, a breakthrough. Go get it. Printed electronics. Okay. Allow drone prefabs to be constructed in the drone assembler using metals instead of electronics. Well, okay. If we ever wanted to start crafting our own drones, which is something I haven't researched because I haven't needed it, but that suddenly becomes viable. I don't usually like building my own drones because they cost a pretty decent amount of electronics when, alternatively, I could just build a bunch of drone hubs, and that's also a way of creating a bunch of drones while also extending my range. But if it's only going to cost me metals, okay, yeah, I could just build myself a stupid number of drones and that'd be fine. By the way, the population's jumped up to 96. Holy crud, I didn't even notice that. Right, we've almost doubled our population. There we go. Carbonate processor, up and running, 0.4% per soul. Will not stay that efficient for terribly long, but until we get to about, what, 30, 40%, we don't have to worry about getting ourselves a magnetic field generator. These suckers are also very expensive and power hungry, so yeah. I don't anticipate that with what I've got here, we'll be able to get ourselves above 30 or 40% terraforming for a while. But even then, that's still pretty good. Where did my drone commander go? I just lost one somewhere. Wait, no, where did it actually go? I'm very curious. I had a pop up here and it was like, oh, you lost a rover. And I'm like, that's fine. I've got 6 sensor towers. I'll triangulate the signal, which usually works, but it's still gone. So maybe we're not going to find it until the dust storm is done? Oh, there's the rover. Finally a hit. Okay, send drones to repair it. How the frick did it manage to get all the way to the corner of the map? This thing wasn't even supposed to be moving during the Great Dust Storm. It's just like, you know what? I'm going to pick a direction and go, and it just ended up way over here. What the frick? New breakthrough discovered. Martian steel. Reduce the cost of metals by 25%. Oh. All right, that's actually pretty good. There's a lot of things I can build, like those magnetic field generators that take a lot of metals, not to mention some of the wonders. Reducing that by 25% can only be a good thing for me. You know what's not a good thing for me was that meteor just going whee, boom. Yeah, that was a little less fortunate. All right, please fix the train. And we got the missing rover back. Oh, and he came with 5,000 science, too. Okay, that almost makes the annoyance worth it, but I still have a lot of questions. And apparently we just hit 100 colonists because I just saw fireworks go flying into my face and it slightly scared me. All right, 100 colonists, ladies and gentlemen. That, yeah, pretty good. I'm having to build out some apartments because we're getting a little bit too cramped. And if we have any homeless people, then the birth rate is going to plummet. We don't want that to happen, so let's just keep growing. Goal reward for sponsor research. Wait a minute, is that permanent sponsor? Yes, 300 extra science per day. Well, that's nice. Hang on. So we got our Martian board. Yep. We've deep scanned 45 sectors. Yep. The only thing left to do is to build a megadome. What is going on? I've also apparently got 16 people who are unemployed. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Has the population actually been getting this far out of control all of a sudden? Okay, hold on. Let's go ahead and start boosting up production of some other useful resources. I think it might be time to go ahead and start getting our own electronic production up and running. We should have enough people to do this and do it well. I say we do it. Alternatively, we could build a factory dome. Something over here, like specifically for the purpose of just expanding out and having a lot of jobs. You know, I've been thinking about doing that. That wouldn't be bad. And it is always fun to build more domes, right? Everyone likes more domes. Who doesn't like more domes? They're so cool. Screw it. Let's go ahead and build out some more domes. Just because I can. Though I won't be able to for very long, by the way. Let's go ahead and also look at maybe getting myself one of these waste rock processors in order to start getting some concrete production up and running, at least a little bit. There are wonders out there that are so much better than this, but this will have to do. Or actually, wait, the concrete plant is even better. This takes workers, though? I don't remember this being in the base game. Has this always been a thing, or is this also part of the mod? I think it might be part of the mod. Of course, the real question is who gets to name the dome, and the winner of today's poll is Sora. Congratulations, Sora. This nice shiny new dome is named in honor after you. It shall be filled with horrible factories that provide fumes that will choke all of our people. But with these materials, we shall survive just that little bit longer on the angry red planet. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of the machine parts factory over here. Not that I really have to do this. I just like keeping everything nice and organized. Get the automation upgrades. We're about to run out of electronics, so the timing of this works out pretty nicely. But we can still get things like the automation upgrades up and a-running. Still a lot of jobs in the electronics factory, but that's kind of the idea. I want to have a lot of opportunities for my people to contribute. Of course, moving around a lot of people in these domes is proving to be a little bit troublesome. We got, first off, a lot more renegades than we used to. 4 in this dome already, 6 over here. Yeah. And once they're renegades, I'm not really able to move them around unless I start playing around with the filters and say, hey, if you are a renegade, you're not supposed to be here, and blah, blah, blah. And you can send them off to go die in the Bengal fields. It's an option. It's just a little bit difficult. But yeah, alright. So in theory, my production for my electronics factory should start to grow. Somehow we have a lot of the wrong types of people in our colonists. That is to say, we have a lot of extra geologists, way more than I know what to do with, which is a bit bizarre. We should be producing tons and tons of stuff here at the metals extractor. Look at them just... I think this career AI mod is not working the way it's supposed to. I might disable this, to be honest. I'm very unimpressed with what it is doing so far. It's supposed to automatically go to a place like, let's say this, and say, hey, geologists shouldn't be working here unless they have to. Let's go reorient them. But no, for whatever reason, it's choosing not to do that. Anyway, whatever. Okay, what else do we need to do? Well, we have a meteor storm on the way. Now is a good time to go ahead and try building up an MDS laser. Not that I can build many of these, but we can at least protect the domes. And I would say that that's worth something. It does take a lot of electronics, though. And we now have reached the point where toxic rains can be expected. Yeah. It's going to cause some issues, I think, for like soil quality and stuff. But the good news is, it's not like I'm planting anything down right now, so it doesn't matter that much. It's just one more task that my poor little drones are going to have to take care of. Oh, here we go. Metatron, it's begun. All stations, run alert! An enormous alien object just materialized on the perimeter. Okay, an enormous alien megastructure has appeared above the colony. Maintain vigil and inform me immediately if the situation changes. Can we see it somewhere? I was just curious if it would, like, pop up on the map, because that would be kind of cool if it did. I don't see it, though. Oh, I take it back. There it is. Frick me! Okay, yup, nope, they weren't kidding. It did just suddenly appear. Right, this is gonna be literally hanging over my head for a while, ain't it? Uh-oh. I mean, I did just set up some lasers. Can someone shoot it? Pew, 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 pew! Factory AI has been researched. We'll use that to go ahead and boost production a little bit further. 20% production, straight up. Yes, please. Uh-oh. The voice of Metatron. I need to talk to you, Commander. I think it's something strange is going on with me. It's a monolith. I feel its alien thoughts inside my head. It speaks to me. All right, let's see. The medics say there's nothing wrong. The monolith appeared to begin having dreams that aren't mine. I'm afraid but also excited because I feel this will be important. It sounds crazy, but I want to believe. Do I? Honestly, I think this guy's about to become possessed. The avatar of Metatron or something scary like that. You know, best thing to do, probably just go ahead and put him down. Yeah, I think that's the most compassionate thing I can think of. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get myself another breakthrough tech, sending 5 of my medics on this planetary anomaly. Who knows? Maybe it's gonna help us. So, if I remember the Metatron event correctly, I don't know a lot about it, but if I recall correctly, at some points we're gonna have to build a wonder. Specifically Project Morpheus. 300 electronics is not a small number of electronics, which is kind of all the more reason we need to keep building up this factory. 16 per soul is decent, yeah. Probably can't afford to keep spending all my rare metals, though, on money. I may have no choice but to just throw everything I've got into making a stupid number of electronics. Well, we did manage to get our breakthrough, though. Gene selection. There's a chance a colonist will gain a rare trait. Doubles the chance, I should say. Well, I mean, yeah, that could be good. Sometimes you get, like, the sexy perk or a genius perk or something like that. Actually, I don't even know if you can get the genius perk properly, but, you know, that is the thought. Kind of cool, I guess, but probably not everything I need, really. My birth rate's gotten a little bit crazy, by the way. 22 over here. 22 children, that's more than my schools can handle. We're also starting to have some homelessness issues, I think. Probably... Well, in this case, it's actually 5 who are on a rocket trip, so they're about to come back, so we should be okay. But we've got to be cognizant of the fact that, yeah, these living complexes will not last for long. I actually built up apartments here and then tore it down, and now I'm thinking that was stupid, because I was thinking, hey, we should try to prevent ourselves from going over the, 30 colonists or whatever that creates renegades, but then I just remember we have nurseries here with kids. So I guess it doesn't matter that much. I just didn't want too many people living over here because I want them all in this dome to work in the nearby domes, because otherwise, it's so far away. Oh no, I cannot walk. What are you guys, freaking Americans who refuse to walk anywhere? Come on, get off your butts, get some exercise. And now we've been challenged by Metatron. Oh boy. Show me what you got. We are chosen to represent all humans and face the trials of the monolith. If we prove worthy, we will be rewarded, but if we fail, ... Metatron is a monolith desirous to be called, was created to visit and test intelligent species all over the galaxy. It literally is show me what you got. What the crud? It will put us through trials and make us realize whether we are worthy to take our place among the star-faring species. The stars are cold and bitter, and many unknown opportunities and dangers await us there. We must prove that we can understand that we can survive and thrive in any environment and situation. It doesn't care if we want to be tested, it simply has come to announce the beginning. Right, alright, we'll be put through a series of trials. Waves of anomalies, which will test your ingenuity and resolve, adapt and survive. Limited duration, but when analyzed, we'll be rewarded for our efforts. Okay, Metatron. I guess we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out if we are worthy of going to space. All right, go forth. Get anomalies. I think we need to get some more power going here. Let's go ahead and get one of those fusion reactors up and running. I think it's time we do that. We'll place it outside this dome. We analyze the anomaly, and Metatron has rewarded me with a whopping 10 medals. Wow, Metatron, show me what you got. There we go. Fusion reactor up and running. Throw some engineers in here. That's 238 more power. More than enough to feel pretty good about ourselves here. Though it did just occur to me we need another subsurface heater, don't we? Well, I mean, this dome is technically, I think, within range. So we're actually protected here. It's things like the concrete plants and so on that are going to consume extra power, but I kind of have more than I know what to do with. So I think we're actually still kind of okay. And the fusion reactor doesn't take power, it creates power. Therefore, it shouldn't need to be in a nice warm zone. You know, aside from maybe like the sanity drop of my people. So we're gonna go ahead and say that that's probably fine. I'm gonna go ahead and build another one of these rare metals extractors outside of the Bengal fields. Might as well take advantage of the extra 1,200 or so rare metals sitting around right now. We're gonna need all of them. Ooh, I'm actually starting to finally consume a bit excess food. Well, what do you know? Good thing I've got some extra botanists. Okay, so we've got this researched. That's good. Can't decide what else I really need to worry about right now. Most of these other things are still way too expensive. Interplanetary astronomy, new breakthroughs and stuff. Yeah, that's fun, but 300 more of those electronics. I'm just not producing enough for that to be something I feel really comfortable with. We are filling out these domes pretty well here at this point. Still got a bit of room for expansion. A few seniors who unfortunately are renegades, which does seem to happen quite often. You end up having seniors become crotchety old people who refuse to follow the laws anymore. They think they're all entitled or something. I don't know. But anyway, the point being, yeah, they can be a little bit difficult to deal with. So we can't move them around. They've managed to figure out what's going on behind the Bengal fields. They refuse to die. Selfish them. Still, we're doing okay. I've got a little bit more room for expansion, but at some point, we may want to consider where we're going to be placing down a mega dome, so that I can take advantage of all the research sites and stuff that are over here. The only problem is this dome is far enough away that I think we're going to have to use some trains. Which sucks, but it's fine. If we place it over here, I can get a vista and 2 research sites. My God. Yeah, we may want to go for something like that over here. We'll just have a small little train network going back and forth. That's one of the challenges of this particular run, guys. It's going to happen. In the meantime, Metatron continues to loom over us, sending more things my way. I've gotten some polymers, I've gotten some free science. I really don't know what his game is exactly, but we'll find out. In the meantime, thank you all very much for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.